Good morning, folks. Thank you very much for joining us on our TNT for Saturday morning. It's a live program, unfiltered, I suppose you could say. There's no editing. It's basically completely live. Just want to make sure you can all hear us as we're broadcasting today from Phuket in Thailand, and I'm broadcasting from my living room. Now, it is... Well, to say the least, it's very wet today. You can probably see that the light outside is dark enough so that the lights inside, you can basically see it's much the same. It's been raining all night. It will rain quite a lot today, so we've had an astonishing sort of stretch of really good weather here in Phuket. Some of the best weather I can remember for 2 or 3 weeks, but it is raining today. But then again, it's the wet season, so that doesn't really bother me. Now, today is an opportunity to talk about a few items, and of course, there's you there, and we'll be addressing your comments, and happy to do so. There's been a lot happening during the week, and we're happy for you to express your views as long as they don't contravene either YouTube or our channel's guidelines. And if you've been around long enough, you pretty much know where we're sitting in that regard. So, look, I've got a lot of questions here. Medical insurance and cost of living have come up quite a lot today. So we'll get to those, but let's say hello to a few people. We've got Ralph, Tom, Alex, Cosmo, Natural Crap. Is that like Sawadee Crap? From Hat Yai, and Antoine, who likes the shirt. Thank you very much. I've worn this a few times. This is the dragon shirt. I wore this first when I did a report about the Dragon Temple just out of Bangkok. And I saw this shirt and I thought, oh, perfect. Frank from Thailand, good to hear you there. Frank, between drinks, reread. Thank you very much for your comments on the program, on yesterday's program as well. They went down very well with some of the viewers. I love the old radios, Tim. Are you a collector, says Robbie. Well, sort of yes. But they're not actually old radios. They're new radios, but they're sort of in retro style. They'll run off MP3s. But I've got them because I've got one of the rooms in the new resort is going to be very, very retro themed. So it's full of all these sort of retro items and mid-century modern furniture. So they're part of that. But they're really good sort of versions of sort of bigger radios but shrunk down, and they're not very expensive, but if you plug in a USB stick, you can run all your MP3s off them. There you go. Did you get that shirt at Dan Flashes? I don't know who Dan Flashes is, Bill, but no, I didn't. Uncle Bob L says afternoon from the Mornington Peninsula, where I was born, in Mornington, on the Mornington Peninsula, one of the nicest places on earth. Scott D, thank you very much for your generous support as always, and we'll look forward to seeing you in about a week's time when you get to Thailand and Phuket with your family. I've given Scott a few pointers as to where I think he should go, and I look forward to showing Scott, the early days of this new venture of mine. Now, just to fill in before we start to answer many questions that I've got from people yesterday and also from this morning. Cloudy in Pattaya, says Mick. Good morning to you, Mick. Hopefully it doesn't rain quite as much as it's raining here. The pool is just overflowing. I'm just leaving it to overflow. Not much I can do about it at the moment. I can't really drain it out fast enough to keep up with the new rain going in. The resort, all going fine. Got a big meeting with the owners on Monday, and any small little details and quibbles we've had will be sorted out then. They've pretty much been sorted out over the emails, but as you do, Thai style, you sit down and you have a cuppa, you negotiate. And we've got a visit here from the new cat. This is Kato, who's a bit of a scaredy cat, and can be prone to have a bit of a scratch every now and then, which is why I'm being a little bit wary, and not very popular with Dina, who stalks her and bullies her a bit, but she's a very pretty little cat, and I hope she settles in eventually. She actually came from the resort. I found her there abandoned in the very early days. She's now up on the table, and I don't think this is going to go well unless she settles down and sits, which she's doing at the moment. So yeah, the meeting on Monday, we'll have it over a cup of tea. We'll be discussing things, and then it's sort of into what I would call go mode, because a lot of the furniture will start moving in. My place here, which is about 2 kilometres away from the resort, is just jam-packed with new furniture. Well, some of it old furniture. Some of it I've been painting and reconditioning. But I'll be very happy to get this stuff out of here up to the new location and into the rooms. Somebody asking what sort of cat it is. Kato is a Bombay cat, obviously born here in Thailand, and as we call them all here, they're all Siamese cats. But the breed is Bombay cat. Smooth black coat, those sort of bright green, almost yellow eyes, and quite a happy temperament. The resort keeps on getting distracted by the cat. And we've got the painters starting in about 2 weeks' time. I hope it's not raining like this. It would have been great if we could have started the painting about 2 weeks ago. We would have had it all finished and with the sunshine, but we'll now just have to sort of dart in between the rain showers and get it painted. I think you'll start from now seeing some big changes. Now, the reason I'm not doing a sort of a resort report every week at the moment is because there's just not much to see at the actual resort. Most of the stuff's been me going to second-hand shops, choosing materials, choosing colours of paint, doing the photos for the rooms. I mean, getting the property management system up and going. All stuff that would be boring as batshit for YouTube. So in the next couple of weeks, I'll be doing another resort report, and I'll keep on doing those when there are things to actually show you, because I think that's what you're here for. You want to see all those things. If you want to ask questions about the resort, you can actually do that here today, or send me an email. I'll do my best to answer your questions. Kato's settled down for now, but anything could happen. Hello from Las Vegas, says Arnold. Arnold Ziffel. Wasn't that the name of the pig in Petticoat Junction? Just from memory. I wanted me of Thai woman, says Jason. Okay. Let's check your medication there. Reread. Need to figure out how far that is from Mueang. Bombay Sapphire. Hans, I should be back. Okay. Green Acres. Thank you very much. Now, I actually do have coffee in my coffee mug this morning. Where did I get this from? The Signature Villas. I think I got this from Johnny. Good morning, Johnny, if you're watching. Gave me a few of these free cups. So I was just going to go through some of the main news stories today to update you on some of the things happening in Thailand that you might be interested in. This one sort of struck me as interesting a few days ago, as Kato... Go and talk to the cleaner, Kato, or settle down there. Oh, don't start scratching things. So Bangkok, got to click on this and click on that. Bangkok Post reporting that 99% of youth smoke illegal vapes, according to a study, and an estimated 9.1% of young people in Thailand use e-cigarettes, mostly due to peer pressure. The next paragraph says the survey was conducted on nearly 62,000 people nationwide between April the 25th and June the 6th. The results show that 14.6% of young people in Bangkok use vapes, ranking the capital as the highest among the 13 areas studied, and it says the vaping devices, as we know, are illegal in Thailand. And 92.2% of the young people surveyed say they started using e-cigarettes with their friends, and 3.2% with their extended family, and 1.6% with their immediate family. 43.9% said they smoke both cigarettes and vapes. Why would you bother doing both? I thought vaping is largely used to give up the other one. I don't know. I don't understand. The Tobacco Control Research and Knowledge Management Centre said minors who use vapes may develop faster growing and more intense health concerns than adults. as they're still in the developmental stage, and due to the risks associated with smoking and also passive smoking, the doctor urged young people to ignore their peers and avoid smoking any tobacco products or e-cigarettes. I did. So what do you think about that? I think that's a very large number of young people taking to vaping, which is still illegal in Thailand. Not that that stops many things from happening, including people riding around on motorbikes without helmets. Having said that, although vaping is the leading in Bangkok, that's where most people do in fact wear their helmets. In fact, I see very, very few people in certainly central Bangkok who ride around without a helmet. Down here in Phuket and other outer Bangkok areas, you'll see more people riding around without helmets. Now, an update. This is about that horrible, horrific incident at the Mueang airport on Thursday morning, when a woman was travelling along one of those horizontal walkways or travelators, and she came to the end and somehow tripped over her suitcase. We're not fully aware of what happened. There were quite a few contrary reports in the media. But anyway, she ended up with her leg dragged down into the mechanism and had it amputated on site by the emergency responders before she was taken to hospital. And this from Calsod English, their Facebook page, says the son of the woman who lost her lower leg after it was trapped by a moving walkway at Don Mueang Airport on Thursday wrote a letter to the public thanking all the well-wishers and expressed hope for a transparent investigation. He said, "My mother cries not because of the pain, but because she's imagining a life with just one leg. As a son, my first encounter after the incident was a staff carrying a foam box containing my mother's severed leg." He added the family is still waiting for the CCTV videos in order to fully understand how the incident actually occurred. It wasn't an accident. This was preventable, there's no doubt. And so I refuse to call it an accident. An operation took place at the Bumrungrad Hospital yesterday, and a psychiatrist is advising her. So we wish her well in her recovery. Now, some more coverage on this, and it's certainly taken a lot of interest in social media. Yet another user of Don Mueang Airport has shared a close encounter with the escalator horror. Twitter user Gupgif wrote on Friday that his shoelace was trapped in an escalator and he loudly called out for help from staff who were very slow in pushing the emergency stop button and didn't have scissors to cut the lace. Truly lousy service. This is the issue. If something does happen, you would think that there's some sort of emergency trip. This clearly didn't happen with this woman on the Thursday morning incident. But what is there in the way of a trip mechanism to stop the mechanics? I mean, these walkways have quite large sort of industrial mechanics and mechanisms which will just grind a human limb to nothing. And another one, we go, oh, will this work? Come on, scan, scroll. Behave yourself. It's not scanning. There we go. Also from Calsod English, Don Mueang Airport may have suspended the use of all its moving walkways after an accident where a female passenger lost her lower leg to the machine on Thursday. But another Thai woman posted on social media recalling how her child was also a victim, this time an escalator. And it shows, one of those plastic shoes stuck in the mechanism. And all 20 moving walkways at Don Mueang Airport were temporarily suspended yesterday. More investigation is needed to determine the cause of the shocking incident in which the female passenger's leg was amputated. So hopefully that brings you a bit up to date with what was happening with that particular incident. Now, I've also got a bit of an update on, I suppose, not only an update, but also a bit of a getting out my crystal ball and predicting who is going to be the next Prime Minister in Thailand. And it's not Pita Limjaroenrat. So I'll get to that after we address some of your comments. But I thought, there's a lot of comments coming up here, and we'll get to these as soon as I can. AOT is reportedly the most valuable airport operator in the world, but they don't maintain their airports, says Dewsbury. Yeah, in relation to that, if you were the AOT or the management at the Don Mueang Airport, or indeed Siam Hitachi, who are the people maintaining those walkways, I'd be having a good talk to your lawyer because you have got a lot of pain coming. I bet this woman is going to be suing those particular organisations for a lot of money. So let's see what happens in that regard. Would like to use resort when completed. Where is it located? Daryl from Chiang Mai. Well, it's in Koh Kao, sort of on the eastern side of Phuket. It faces out towards the east in Phang Nga Bay. It's not on the touristy west coast, but it's got its own particular vibe, and I hope people do enjoy that. Oh, Aussie Chris, thank you very, very much. That's very much appreciated. If you've got a question or something you'd like to contribute, please do, and I'll get to it as soon as I can. But thank you very much from TNT and from Kato and me. Actually, Dina has been put into the bad girl room. She just keeps bullying this little cat, so having to try and keep them apart at the moment. So cat politics. Rather have a leg than an amount of money, says Ian McNamee. I couldn't agree with you more. Just a shocking incident. So we'll get to that story about who I think is going to be the next Prime Minister of Thailand. But during the week, I asked people if they had any comments they'd like to contribute, and some of you did. So I'm going to go to those now. And hi, Tim, can you please cover the medical healthcare costs? Bangkok Pat recently did an episode about soy dog, and the cost of rabies shots scared me. So I'm not aware of that particular situation or that video with Bangkok Pat. Healthcare costs in Thailand, there's a few ways you can go. Three main ways I can see. One, you can use the public health system here. Now, you may be able to use it for free if you are an expat who's got a work permit and a full-time job. If you're under 60 years old, you'll be able to use the Thai public health system for free. And in most cases, it's perfectly adequate. Now, you could also have private health insurance, and that will usually insure you not only in Thailand, but pretty much anywhere in the world, except I think the United States in most cases. You pay an additional premium for that. But yeah, I have private health insurance, and it costs me about 45,000 baht a year. I'm 64 years of age, and obviously it is higher if you are older. And that will give me enough cover so that they'll come and scrape me off the road and pop me into a private hospital where I'll get free medical care whilst I'm in the hospital. And I think I pay, just from memory, I think it's around about 1,000 baht a night myself, and the rest is covered by the insurance. Now, I could pay up to 90 or 100,000 baht and get the premium health insurance for my age. But at the moment, because I largely, as best I can, look after my own health and try and keep out of most risk-averse situations, I'm keeping it at that 45,000 baht level. Now, when I get to 70, my insurance company will continue covering me, but only because I've been with them since before I was 70 years old. And again, the earlier and the younger you start with these insurance companies, the more likely they are to maintain your health insurance past 70. Now, every insurance company is different. You'll have to discuss the fine print with your insurance provider. And I'm actually speaking to my insurance guy on Monday. I'll see if he can come and join us maybe next week and talk about health insurance and other insurances here in Thailand. He does speak very, very good English, so let's see if I can talk him into that, and then you can ask him all those questions yourself. So, yeah, the other thing you can do is just save your money or use your savings, and just when things occur, you just pay out of pocket at a private hospital or a public hospital, your choice. Here in a place like Phuket, there are 7 private hospitals and there are 4 or 5 major public hospitals, and that's why places like Phuket, Pattaya has much the same, are very popular for older retired expats because the opportunities for excellent healthcare are very close to you. Is there any life insurance element in your medical insurance, Tim? No, I don't believe there is. Most of the chat is among subscribers and not something Tim can respond to. Thank you very much. That's sort of what the comment section has its own life, and a lot of you answer the questions that other people ask, and that's fine. Bill G, I arrive in Thailand on July the 12th. I'm an ESL teacher of 8 years in China. I'm an American. What's the best way to find a school to teach at? Oh, gee, that's a very good question. I don't really know where you'd go. I'd go to the English language schools in the areas where you were going to live, and they'll tell you which schools are hiring. Or take your CV, just front up and see how you go. At the moment, I think English language teachers are sort of in demand. The Thai education system includes the need to teach English, and certainly the private schools have a lot of English-speaking teachers. So that's what I'd be doing. I'd be going to the English language courses and say, hey, which schools are hiring at the moment? Because they'll be in the loop and they'll know what's going on. Alex Malcolm, Tim, it's not free if working in Thailand on social service, employee 7% and government 7%. Yes, I mean, they do take some out of your wage. I don't know if it's 7% though. I'm sure I never paid 7%. Well, in my knowledge, but you might be right. Yes, they do take it out of your wages as a contribution. Scott D. Bangkok Pat is truly stellar and an expert at scouting locations for movie locations. That might be how he's become a stringer for the movie makers. Really good looking policy, but beware of the exclusions, full of them. Yeah, look, there are always going to be exclusions. You need to read the fine print in any of these insurance policies. Buyer beware, just keeping an eye on the cat, because she's very close to the stand that's holding the camera. Could go toppling any time. Yeah, I think it's just like anything. You just need to have a good relationship with your broker and have a full understanding of how your insurance policy works. I'm lucky that I've never made a claim in 10 years on my insurance policy. And touch wood, I hope my good health continues. But you just never know. So don't even think about coming to Thailand and living here unless you have health insurance. Now, if you get your insurance, your retirement visa from outside Thailand, one of the requirements is that you have a health insurance. If you get your retirement visa in Thailand, that requirement is not there anymore. But don't live in Thailand unless you have some sort of health insurance policy. Or if you're a traveller, make sure you've got travel insurance. Just don't even think about coming here and touring around, enjoying yourself, or living here unless you've got health insurance. Konkan has a nice Bangkok hospital, says Hans. Thank you very much. Bangkok Hospital is a brand, by the way, right around Thailand, not just in Bangkok. They tend to be at the higher end of costs, but they are usually quite good. Remembering that in most areas, the doctors, they sort of share themselves around. So that if you go to a public hospital, the oncologist, for example, might be there a couple of days a week, and then he works at one or two of the private hospitals a couple of days a week as well. So the doctors, they do share their skills around both the public and the private health system. Papillon Man says, I can't wait until your hotel is up and running, then I should be able to watch live. Not sure why that would be. As an ex-teacher, says Paul Sumner, I don't agree with the relaxation of the school uniforms to allow one day of casual dress. This was announced during the week by the Bangkok Metropolitan Authority that 320 government schools in Bangkok would have one day casual wear, and they'd also allow students to wear their hair or their clothes depending on their personal preferences. Students wearing designer brands intimidate those students who can't afford them. This leads to all sorts of problems, and the decline of respect and discipline in schools, says Paul. As it has in the West, casual dress also allows anonymity to conduct antisocial behaviour with no recourse to the school they attend. I'm not sure how you work out that one, but Paul, thank you very much for your thoughts on that. Do you come across many single female expats, says Paula Mitchell, that have retired in or moved to Thailand? Any recommendations for any ladies considering that move? Yes, actually, just in this housing estate alone, there are quite a few single females. Some of them have retired. Some of them have got husbands who work out of Thailand for a few weeks, then come back for a few weeks. There's quite a sort of a single lady scene here. There's clubs. I know there's the Phuket Women's Association. Fairly dowdy lot, but yes, there are different social groups for single women and expat groups, and of course there's any number of Thai places that you can socialise as well. I think, as I'd recommend for anybody looking to retire in Thailand, come here, spend some time, not in one place but several places, do your homework, ask lots of questions, get on the internet, read lots, speak to maybe people like me that have been here for a long time, and then make your decision based on a lot of good homework. And the time that you invest in that homework and discussions with people will end up giving you a much better retired life when you do get to Thailand. So that's my recommendation. Do lots of homework. But yes, there are plenty of single females retiring here, not as many as the men, but the lifestyle in Thailand is alluring to anybody who wants to retire, who wants a quieter type of life. You can find some very quiet, relaxing parts of Thailand where you'll see very few people, let alone many foreigners. Or you can hang around the touristy areas if you want to hang around a whole lot of expats and sit in bars and drink expensive drinks in long glasses with an umbrella on the top. That's up to you. And one more question which came up over the past few days. Tim, can you please give any info on tourism visa? Last year you could get 60-day visa on entry. That's not correct, actually. Is Thailand still giving 60 days stay on entry, or is it back to 30 days? So the visa exemption last year was up to 45 days from 30 days, with the option at the end of the 45 days to extend another 30 days. Or if you were coming from a country that had visa on arrival, that was extended last year from 15 days to 30 days. Then after the 30 days, you could extend for another 15 days. That's currently back to 30 days for visa exemption for most countries and back to 15 days visa on arrival. The question as to whether they may extend that again to 45 days or even 60 days, given that Vietnam has, or will from August, I think, have a tourist visa for 90 days extendable. I think you'll find that the new government might fairly quickly make a visa exemption for 45 or 60 days, given that tourism numbers have really tanked around Thailand over the past 2 or 3 months. There was a big surge of tourists coming at the start of the year. The tourism authority, everybody was going, yay, breaking out the champagne and assuming it was going to continue, but numbers have certainly dropped back as Thailand enters the wet season. Whether that'll level off or we'll start seeing a surge of Chinese, we really don't know, but the Chinese numbers have also remained quite low so far. Now, another question came in about, I think I addressed that. What is the average cost one can expect to be charged by a visa agent for a non-immigrant type O retirement visa? Excuse me. Okay, so good question. If you're in Thailand, you've arrived on a tourist visa, maybe you've done your homework, you've decided you are going to retire here. If you go to a visa agent, at the moment, you will pay between, say, and this is a guesstimate depending on the visa agent, But at the moment, the going cost is between about 30 and 50,000 baht for them to do all the paperwork and to make sure you meet all the qualifications. So between 30 and 50,000 baht, that is the going rate. There was some big problems with getting retirement visas or long-term visas earlier in the year. That situation has sort of calmed down a bit, and the visa agents are more likely to be able to process your work a bit quicker and maybe a bit cheaper than it was earlier in the year. Now, that'll give you a 3-month initial visa, and then they'll also have the extension. So for your 30 to 50,000 baht, you'll get 15 months in total of a retirement visa, and then you'll have to turn up and pay around about 12 to 20,000 baht for a renewal each year. Or you can do it yourself. You can do the entire retirement non-immigrant O visa yourself. You don't need a visa agent, but a visa agent will make things easier, and they'll sort of sharpen off a lot of the sharp points, and they'll be able to get people who may not qualify in one area or another sort of over the line. Is that legal? Well, a stamp in your passport is 100% legal. Is the way some visa agents operate to get that stamp 100% kosher? I'll leave you to make that decision based on your interactions with your visa agent. But the stamp that you get in your passport is 100% legal. I think I've said that about as delicately as I can. So there we go. Let's see if what sort of other comments we've got here. By the way, thanks for joining us, everybody. We're half an hour into this, and I think we've gone through a lot of topics. And after we go through all your latest comments here in the section, comment section, Alex said in relation to the cost of the health insurance. Oh, yes. No, I think that was Dina. The cleaner's just showing me a dead bird that one of the cats dragged in upstairs and put under the bed. If you live with cats, you are going to have the occasional gift brought in from nature, and they're very efficient serial killers, aren't they? Yeah, but Alex saying that the amount taken from your wage and your employees' contribution is 5%, not 7%. I thought it was a bit lower. Thank you very much, Alex. So I'm going to have a talk about who's going to be Thailand's next Prime Minister in just a moment. Many years ago, I spent a week at Patong Hospital. The cost was cheaper than my hotel. How times have changed, says the Oz Kiwi. Yeah, look, you can shop around for the hospitals. The private hospitals have got more expensive. I dare say they're still quite a lot cheaper than the Western equivalents at the moment, though. Medical costs have gone up around the world. The technology has improved. The drugs have improved. All those costs get passed on to us at some stage. But generally, the medical care in Thailand is very good. Sadly, I've had to pop into hospitals over the time I've been here and visit friends who have been unwell or had accidents. But I'm always reasonably impressed with the care they're getting. You do hear a few horror stories. You hear those from hospitals around the world. The horror stories are going to be making the headlines. People are not going to, or publishers are not going to be doing a story saying, patient was given really good care at hospital. They're going to be talking about the times where things don't go well. Yes. Just checked with my accountant and the wife. Thank you very much, Alex, for doing some homework on that. So my hospital bill was a tiny fraction of what it would have been in the San Francisco Bay Area, says Hans. Designer brands. What? It's knockoff land here. Yeah. Irish Times had an interview with one of those Phuket single Western women recently, said Hans. So yeah, check with Irish Times. That's Thai with a rish on the end. Pete is from Ireland and he's still doing videos even though he's not living in Thailand anymore. And I'm forever in the debt of Pete. who did an interview with me just before I finished my work at the Tiger. And it was that interview that really kicked off this YouTube channel. So, and speaking of which, I just kicked over 23,000 subscribers last week. So I'm forever in the debt of Pete for giving me a kickstart, and always very grateful for your support, and a little bit astonished that I'm not even a year into this new channel, and we've done pretty well. I'm pretty happy with the way it's going, and I hope I can continue to bring you interesting videos from time to time. Well, I'm pretty much doing a video every day at the moment. No complaints from you, thank you. I walked into clinic in Pen with leg rash. Okay, Phnom Penh, I suppose you're talking about. Tim, how is the resort coming along? Says Robert. Enjoyed watching the updates on the progress. Good luck with it, says Robert. Look, it's going very, very well. And as I mentioned at the start, we will be doing some updates in coming weeks when we'll start to see a few big changes. There's just been a lot of background work getting things set up for this sort of rush of changes. All the rooms have got their own themes, and so I've been out buying stuff for those rooms, doing research, getting the background, the website, the property management system, getting those set up. There's a lot of work involved in those. We've actually added another property during the week. So I'll tell you more about that after I sign the contract, hopefully in the next couple of days. But the Marigold Mountain is actually sort of on a bit of a hill. It's got the jungle on one side, thick Thai rainforest tropical jungle, and then a beautiful view out across Phang Nga Bay on the other side. This other property is right on the beach. So it's in a different location, but it'll be still under the same brand, and hopefully people can come and stay for a couple of days at Marigold Mountain, then maybe go and stay a few days at the beach under the same brand umbrella. I'll tell you more about that as we go, but the whole project from where we started to where we are now has sort of morphed and changed, and I'm pretty sure by the time we get to the opening in the middle of September, it will have changed again. It's just the way things go here in Thailand. Go with the flow. Don't have things so set in your mind that you're not willing or able to shift and change as the mood changes, as things change, as situations change. Just the way that you need to have a mindset here in Thailand. Have all the plates spinning and keep them all spinning, and just be patient. Hopefully that answers that, but we will have another update video. So these Saturday mornings will sometimes be live when I've got an opportunity to chat with you, and other weeks we'll have an edited report about what's going on at the resort. We might have one next week. I'll see if the paint starts going on the wall. I mean, that's going to be the biggest, most profound change to the look of the place. Just a fresh coat of paint. They sent me to hospital then, and the upshot is 4 weeks of antibiotics 3 times a day. I'm not sure what you're talking about there. Question, says Kelly. Hi, Kelly. Can I buy an inflatable boat such as a Zodiac while I'm there? Yeah, of course you can. Those inflatable boats are certainly very available, and there won't be any problem with buying one of those. Now, you'll need to find somewhere to keep it. Some of the marinas can be a little bit on the expensive side, but say here in a place like Phuket, there are quite a few places to keep a boat, or you can use a boat ramp, pull it out on a trailer and take it home. But yes, there are companies that will happily sell you a new or a used inflatables or Zodiac type craft. I know exactly the type that you're talking about, and I've seen quite a few of them sort of floating around. My iPad is going completely crazy. Can I go back to my questions? I don't think it's going to take me back to the questions. There they are. And I think oh, Scott, stop it, Scott. Thank you very, very much for your kind support. But Scott's got a question. So, Scott, here we go. Difficult question for Tim. Oh, God, here we go. What to do if I love the thought of retiring to Thailand, but my native Thai wife, a successful accountant, financial analyst, loves it here in Chicago with a success Korea. Well, that's not a difficult question for me, but it's certainly a bit of a quandary for your family, Scott. If you've, I'd say 6 months here and 6 months there. I don't think there's reasons why these days that perhaps accounting and financial analysis can't be done partly remotely. Might take a couple of months to set it up so that the clients understand that's what's happening. Certainly software for you to do so. So imagine your wife would be quite able to run some of her services remotely for maybe half the year. But look, I don't know if that's the situation. But certainly that could be an option. Yeah, I mean, Chicago's a great city. If that's where you've been brought up, I'm sure you enjoy your time there as well. But I'll have to leave that one for you. And I'm happy to address that in greater detail when you arrive in Thailand. But personally, I would find it difficult to spend half the year somewhere and half the year somewhere else, unless I was fully retired. If I'm sort of doing 6 months work here and 6 months work there, I don't know. I think everybody's got a different situation and everybody would have different requirements. It probably wouldn't work for me, but is there any reason why your Thai wife wouldn't be able to have a successful accountancy here in Thailand? I don't know. Good luck with that one. And thank you for the question. Is the new place you are getting at the beach Steve's place at Turtle Beach? No. It's not Steve's place at Turtle Beach. Richard says, buffering. See you next week. I hope it's not buffering too much at this end. It seems to be a clean signal as far as I can see. But somebody else is saying that it's been buffering. Sorry about that. Maybe there's a problem with the internet. We've had quite a lot of rain here in the past couple of days. I'm sorry if it's been buffering. I can't really do much to sort that out. I appear to have a solid connection. Internet speed is fine at the moment. So big apologies if there's been buffering. I'm sorry about that. Okay, so now talking about who's going to be the next Prime Minister. So as you know, since the election there has been quite a lot of discussions. The way the situation has worked, the Election Commission gets up to 60 days to announce the results. That's now happened. Then there's another 2 weeks or so before the Parliament has to convene. The first job they do is they have to nominate a House Speaker and the Deputy House Speakers, and then a joint sitting of the Parliament gets to choose the Prime Minister. That's the way the Constitution works here in Thailand. Constitution set up by the military government pretty much leaves those 250 unelected senators with a lot of say over what happens in Thailand, and that will be the situation for another 2 years until their term ends. Now, I'm not aware, as I think there would be elections for those senators after that. Or, I don't know, or maybe the government still, the elected government gets to choose senators. I'll have to have a check up on that. But anyway, at the moment, we've got the situation where in the next 2 weeks, the Parliament will sit down and the parties will put up their prime ministerial candidates, and the joint sitting of Parliament, the 500 MPs and the 250 senators, will be able to elect a Prime Minister. And so look, I'll just go through this story, and it says that Per Thai may claim the Prime Minister role. This from BangkokPost.com. And ladies and gentlemen, behold Mr. Srettha Thavisin. And yes, I can see there has been a bit of buffering. Apologies for that. Not much I can do at this end. Anyway, I am thinking that this gentleman is going to be Thailand's next Prime Minister. The reason being that if Peter Limjaroenrat, who's the nomination from the Move Forward Party, which is the party that got the most MPs in the Parliament, I'll just reset that. Hopefully that might help. Sorry if you're having problems with the buffering. I'm not exactly sure where it's coming from, but it might be coming from this end. But apologies if there has been some buffering. Anyway, if he doesn't get the support of 376 votes of the joint sitting, then the Parliament will sit down and they'll get more nominations, and the Per Thai Party will nominate this particular gentleman. And it's probably more likely, given the politics of the matter, that he would be more likely to get those 376 votes if Peter Limjaronrat doesn't get the 376 votes. So just reading the tea leaves, I am thinking that that gentleman is going to be Thailand's next Prime Minister. So that's just the way that I'm reading the situation as of today. It's a very dynamic situation. It appears that there has been some concession by Per Thai to allow the Move Forward Party to have the House Speaker role and have a crack at Peter being elected as Prime Minister. But if he's not, then the Per Thai Party will take the opportunity to introduce that particular gentleman as a nominee to be the next Prime Minister of Thailand. Okay, so moving on with your questions. So apologies if we've had some problems with the buffering. There is a lot of rain here at the moment, and I'm not sure why that would affect the internet, but it might. Pat Thai says, Kun Tim for Thai PM. I'm not born in Thailand, and I wouldn't want to be Prime Minister even if you paid me $20 million. Prayut parting gift. Indeed, indeed. Tim, back to live. Buffering in Phuket. I'm going to start a company called Inflatable -1 Stammer. Tim's upload is fine. Okay, look, it looks like it's buffering. We might end it here, everybody. I'm sorry if it's causing problems for you. It could be any of a million problems. We've been going for 47 minutes. I think that's probably enough. Apologies for the buffering if it's coming from this end, but thank you very much for those people that have joined in. Hope you've enjoyed the opportunity to chat today. Have a fantastic weekend. We've got Steve tomorrow with Grumpy Old Men, and then back on Monday with our regular TNT. Says it's fine at the moment. Okay, look, I'll just continue for a few more moments answering questions for those people that are still with us. And again, just apologies if it has been buffering. Just traced out YouTube connection from Oz to Thai. Issues in Thai at ISP Interconnect. I wouldn't even know how to do that, Robbie, but thank you very much. Buffering in Ban Chang, I'm going. Storm blowing in, says Fun Size Media. It's an internet problem today, says Gunnar. Okay, so there we go. Everybody's talking about the buffering, which I don't think is terribly interesting. So, look, we will finish it there. Thanks, everybody, for joining in. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week. Oh, Chris! Thank you very, very much, Chris. Just at the end there, much, much appreciated. Appreciate your support. Anybody who supports the channel just by watching or by these very kind, unsolicited donations and contributions, I really do appreciate it. It goes to buying fake radios and feeding Bombay cats and the other cats. Okay, thanks everybody. So it's been nearly an hour anyway. I'm going to go out and brave the weather conditions. And as you can see out the window, it's still quite gloomy there. The light outside is just about the same as the light here inside. Tomorrow's program with Steve, what are we talking about? We get ourselves in all sorts of trouble as usual. But by the way, Steve is a guest on my channel once a week. He's got his own channel and he does his own thing. But we get together once a week and we have a bit of a chin wag. Yeah, we're different people. But I love Steve to death. We don't sort of socialise together. I go up and we have our hour together once a week and we enjoy a few laughs and chat about some of the things and our various memories here in Thailand. But beyond that, Steve won't be living at the hotel. Steve not moving in with me or anything. I mean, we live quite separate lives. And we will try and speak next week about health insurance, other insurances in Thailand, and also we'll try and spend the day talking about the cost of living here in Thailand and give you some higher estimates and some lower estimates. And we'll just see how that fleshes out. But I'll have a talk to my insurance guy on Monday, see if I can talk him into coming onto the channel and spending some time responding to your questions. John says the most likely scenario will see the junta in some shape or form for around another 2 years and maybe upset people and protests ahead. John, I have to disagree with you. I think there will be a Prime Minister elected based on the results, and my prediction is that that government will run its full term. So, John, we'll just have to see who is better at predictions. But I don't think it's going to be Peter Limjaroenrat. I think this Srettha Thavisin will be the next Prime Minister of Thailand, but I don't know. We'll just have to see how things go over the next 2 weeks, but we will know. And Ralph does say, and it's important to remember, that it's Ross with an E, talking about Steve Ross. Ian McNamee, why do you not like Tim? Oh, God, what's Ian saying about me now? Yes, Ian's a bit of a hater. That's okay. Still let him hear. Thanks, everybody. I'll see you next week. Have a great week if I don't see you before. But we've got our Monday to Friday show, of course, where we review the Thailand news. We do that in about 15 minutes each day. Thanks for watching.